Algebra. We're back to the videos for the start of Chapter 8. The last chapter, Chapter 7, with exponential functions and exponents, was hopefully a good warm-up, I guess I could say, for this whole learning from home thing. This next chapter is super important. It's going to be an essential building block for all of the math classes that you'll ever take. So it's really important that you ask me if you have questions. Don't just kind of brush by it if something pops up and you don't understand. It's really important. Remember, I'm available on Zoom, through email. Remind, if the Zoom hours don't work for you, please let me know. I will schedule something else. I've been doing that, and hopefully you guys are finding it helpful. So this might look a little intimidating, what we have up here. We're going to be adding and subtracting polynomials today, but you'll find that we have a lot that we already know that we can build off of. So this, in the end, hopefully ends up being pretty easy for you guys. So we're going to start with adding first, and I have two setups for you. I personally think just the horizontal way is the easiest way to go, but some kids do like to see the visual of vertical. I'm going to start off with horizontal, and basically for adding, we are just combining like terms. That is all we're doing. In 7th grade, your teachers might have said like circle and box, or box your terms, depending upon who you had. Here I'm just going to use color today. It's a little more visual for you guys. So I want to identify my like terms first. Now like terms have matching exponents. So we're going to be careful to just match those up. So I'm going to underline in orange. I have an x squared and an x squared. I'm going to underline my x's in green. I have a negative 3x. Remember the sign before it? The sign goes along for the ride. That sign is stuck with it. So I have a negative 3x and a positive 6x. And then I just have my constants tacked on at the end. And both of these are in standard form, so this one is a great one to start with. Standard form, remember we're going in order of the degree of the term. So I have my squared out front. Technically this is a degree of 1, and then I have my constants on the end. So I'm going to start off by just combining my x squareds. I have 7 and 9, so I end up with 16x squared. Next, I'm going to combine the x's, and I'm left with, after negative 3x plus 6x, I'm left with positive 3x. And finally, 6 minus 11, I'm left with negative 5. And I'm done. I just combined like terms. Don't think too into it. That's it. Done. And it's also in standard form by degree of the term. The next one is vertical. It's a vertical setup, but it's the same thing. I have two polynomials that I'm adding together. These are trinomials because there's 3 terms in each of them. But notice how when I set it up, I lined up the degrees. You can kind of think of it as like place value. Back when you guys were in elementary school, you wanted to line up your decimals. We're lining up degrees here. That's going to be important. And I'm just going to use one color for this because my lining up with the degrees kind of was color coding them for me already. So I'm just going to add, and I get 3x to the 4th. There's nothing I can combine with that. I have negative 2x cubed plus 9x cubed. So I'm left with 7x cubed. 5 and 7 for my x squareds leaves me with 12x squared. And I have nothing to add on to that negative 2x, so I'm just going to keep it. And I am done. This is already in standard form by degree and order, so we are good to go. And that is it for adding. There are 2 below on the notes if you have those printed that you can try on your own now. And I'm going to just show you they're already done. They're in color coded. So pause it and try them on your own and double check that you have the correct answer. So the first one on the left is this. And notice how these weren't in standard form. So neither of them were in standard form actually. So this constant could be bumped to the end, and then that would be standard form. And here we would need this 5x to the power of 5 out front. You want an order of degree. So when I wrote it, after I combined like terms, I put the blue term out front because 5 was my highest degree. So make sure you put them in order. I like to just kind of combine them by the order of the degree. So this should be that first try it. And my second try it is this one. And just as a review of that chapter 8 vocab real quick, I knew that this term had to go out front because the degree of that term is 7. So to find the degree of a term, you add up all the exponents. So we have 3 and 4. So my degree here is 7. My degree here would be 4. So that's going to be second in line. And then here I just have 1 that's going to be at the end. So that's how I knew to do it when I had multiple variables happening there. So that is it for adding. We're going to move on to subtracting now. And subtracting is almost the same. We just have 1 extra step. And this step kind of reminds me of when we were doing elimination and we wanted to change it from addition to subtraction when we didn't want to have to subtract when eliminating. And we had to change the sign in one of the whole equations. We had to change every sign in that equation. So here, I feel like I'm not making sense here. So I just want to show you. If I had 2x plus y equals 10, for example, and then I had 3x plus y equals 7. So if we didn't want to have to subtract here, we said, well, we can just multiply this whole thing by a negative, and we can change the sign in every term of the equation. So that kind of reminds me of what we're about to do here. When subtracting, first we need to distribute that negative into every piece of that second equation. So when I am subtracting, I'm going to distribute in to all terms of that equation, and I'm going to change it to addition. So when I do that, I'm left with negative 5. My negative 6x changes positive, and my positive 3x cubed is going to change to negative. So I change the sign to positive, and I change all the signs to their opposites in that second equation. And then I can go ahead and just add just like we did for those top ones. So I'm going to identify my like terms. I'll do my cubes and the sign before it in orange. I will do the x's, we use green. And last we have blue for the constants. And I'm going to put them in order of degree right away, so it's just written in standard form for me. The highest degree that I have that I'm going to be combining is a 3, so that's going to go out front. And those are my orange ones. So I have 2x cubed minus 3x cubed. I'm left with negative x cubed. The next highest degree I have is just these x's. So I'm going to put those next in green. And I have 3x plus 6x. That's going to leave me with 9x. And last I have my constants at the end. And negative 4 minus 5 more is going to leave me with negative 9. And I'm done. It's in standard form. I remembered to distribute my negative. Good to go. So I have 2 now for you to try. Again, you can pause it if you have the notes at home. If not, you can still pause it and just kind of jot down what's in black up top and then double check that you have it correct. So the one on the left, I showed my distribution in purple. So I distributed that negative into that whole second polynomial. And then I changed it to addition, and I switched all my signs to the opposite. And then I combined in order of degree. So that one should be done. And the second one here, again, I distributed in purple. So I changed to addition, I changed all my signs to the opposite, and I put it in order for standard form in order of degree. I knew to do this one out front because 3 and 2, this degree of the term in blue is 5. So that should be it. Reach out for any help. I'm here to help you. It's my job. I'm happy to. I love hearing from you guys. And if you feel like you're good to go, then go ahead and start that Google form. Get it done a day early. Hopefully I will see you guys on Zoom later today or tomorrow. Bye-bye.